Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Nala and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your puppy's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves your left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we ever use here at the school is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Nala will come home with her very own training equipment, and you'll be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, Nala is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on a leash without dragging you down the street, and the command is Nala, heel.
Nala, heel.
Now, at this point, Nala has a job to do, and that is to remain even with your left leg when walking. Not forging ahead or lagging behind or putting her nose on the ground, but being more focused on you than anything that's going on around her, and walking like a lady. And each time that Rich stops his feet, you're going to see that Nala sits automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So when you're walking down the street and you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she should sit quietly at your left until she's given the next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit stay. So with the dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm about an inch or two from her muzzle and the one word firm command to stay. The sit stay when you're practicing at home is you're going to start out with about 30 seconds and you're going to work up to 3 minutes. When Rich returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her as an additional distraction, and she should not get up. She should wait for him to get back to heel position, at which point she gets another command. And those sit stays and down stays can be practiced right indoors. You don't have to always go outside to practice obedience. In fact, we strongly recommend that you do practice indoors. So again, another automatic sit and the stay command. Now, the sit stay is just like teaching children. It's teaching her to focus, to have a longer attention span, and to not to be all over the place. This time, instead of returning back to her, Rich is going to demonstrate the come on command.
Nala.
He uses her name, he lightens his tone, and she comes right in front and sits. And that's very important because you don't want her jumping all over you. And then she returns back to heel position and she gets a good pat for praise. And we're going to recommend in the beginning that you keep your praise to a minimum until you're very confident that you can control her after she's been praised. Nice automatic sit. If she doesn't sit, you tell her no sit.
Stay.
You leave her in a stay, and that's a one-word command. And again, Rich calls her in. Nala, come. She comes in front and sits, and then she returns back to heel and back sitting. So you can see that she's really very, very smart. She's a little needy. She needs to be near you. She thrives on that love and attention that she gets when training with you. Now this time, we're going to demonstrate another command, and that is your down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. The long down stay can be held for a little bit longer. So start out at about a minute, and you're going to work all the way up about 10 seconds a day to a 5-minute down stay. This time Rich will return back to her exactly as he did on the sit stay, walking all the way around her, returning back to heel. And as you can see, everything starts and stops at that heel position when you're working her in a drill like we're doing now. We're repeating the commands that she's learned over and over in fairly rapid succession. And this is a good mental workout for her as well.
Down.
So this is your down
Stay.
and your stay. And as you get more familiar with working with her and giving her commands, you'll be able to mix them up and really have fun with it. This time Rich will call her out of that.
Nala.
And if you notice, he doesn't go over the top vocally.
Sit.
Now, she didn't come in and sit, so you saw the little correction, and that's good because now you know what it looks like.
Nala.
She's very eager to please, and a lot of times any mistake that Nala makes is because she's trying too hard and she's trying to think for you. One of our trainers always says, I'll do the thinking. So this time we're going to leave her in a sit stay, and we're going to demonstrate her down from a distance. Now, Nala's problem with this command is that she wants to crawl in and lay at your feet.
Down.
Rich gives her the down command.
Down.
You can see that she knows it. And then she starts the crawl thing. So we're going to have to practice that with her a little bit more, and you're going to practice with her at home. But I think she's done a great job of doing all of her commands. We've demonstrated her healing, her automatic sits, her sit stay, her down from a heel, down from a distance, come. All of those commands are what you're going to be practicing with her in the beginning. We want you to keep us in the loop. She's a lovely little dog, and we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.